Hello, my Cocoa Daisy friends. Julie Deal Mooney here today to show you a little trick that I love doing in my planner. You can use this for memory keeping too. And so what I am doing is printing on pocket cards. Here you can see here. I printed on just a pocket card. I did not print on the back of it. And then this one is my Currently. I printed my Currently stuff on it. And then this is also a Currently that I printed on this one. And so I am going to take these three items and print on them. You can print on these glassine bags that your stuff comes in from Cocoa Daisy, which is just a little added benefit. So if you've never done this before, my recommendation is to start with the notepad. You can actually use it, but it's also an easy way to practice. And if you mess something up, it's one sheet of a notepad. It's not your one tag that says July Stories Documented. So I'm going to start with the notepad, and the tools that you're going to need for this, or you're going to need you don't have to use this. There are other things that you can use. This works the best for me. I have a Tombow removable adhesive runner. You could also, to adhere your stuff down, you could use bits of washi. I tried that. Excuse me, I'm too far away from, sorry, I'm knocking everything. I'm too far away from the table. I tried using washi and it peeled up just a little bit of the paper on this. So you could use washi, you just had to be very careful with it. You could probably stick a glue dot here or there, but it would be weird going through the printer. Plus, I have a laser printer, so there's heat in that. So, you know, I don't know that I'd want to put a glue dot through it. So I know that this works. And the washi will work if you want to stick it down with washi. If you don't have one of these and you have washi and you want to try it, and especially with this, just I would put it on the edges if you're going to do washi, and then just peel it up real carefully. So other tools that you need, let's move all this out of the way, except for this one is the one we're going to start with, is a ruler and a piece of paper and a pencil. So I'm just going to kind of draw out the notepad here. So I've got these two boxes like this. Please excuse my drawing. It's not great. It's definitely not to scale. And the only ruler that I have is just this giant one. And it is 3 inches wide. The overall size of the notepad is 3 by 5. So I'm going to put 3 inches by 5 inches. And then, because I only want to print in these boxes, I just kind of need to know where these boxes are. So the first one, you can see here is 1 1/4 plus a 1/16 more, but really I'm not going to want to print until I get to 1 1/2 because I don't want it jammed up there that close. So I'm going to say 1 1/2 inches down here. And then my next mark is at 2 7/8. This line here. I think I'm going to have to move my 5-inch mark. 5 inches. And then this one is 2 7/8. All right. And my next one is, let's say, 3 3/8 for where I want it to start. And then my last one is 4 3/4. And then you definitely want to do from side to side. So I don't want to print on that little blue area right there. So I'm going to go in a 1/2 inch from the left and 3/8 of an inch from the right. Okay, so this is a 1/2 inch, and this is 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so now we are going to leave here and go over to the computer so that we can type this stuff up. Okay, so I am going to do this in Adobe Illustrator, but you can really do this in any program that you have. I'll do the first one in Adobe Illustrator. I'll do the second one in Silhouette Studio, because those are the two programs that I use the most. If you have Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Photoshop Elements, you certainly could do this in that. You could do it in Microsoft Word, you could do it in Microsoft Publisher. If you have some sort of other program, as long as you're comfortable in it, all you're really going to need to do is draw a box, make some measurements, and type some words in. So the first thing that we're going to start off is with the overall size. The width of my notepad is 3 inches and the height is 5 inches. So you want to create a document that is the size of the card. And then just create that. And I had mine set on 2 artboards. I don't know why. So let me get rid of one of those. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to come and draw a box, however you would draw a box in your program, and draw a box. And I'm going to check up here to make sure that mine is exactly 3 by 5 and that it starts on the 0 mark, just because I'm picky like that. My box is currently white with black, but I want it to not have a white fill. I just want it to be empty with a black square. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to align my stroke to the inside, and then this will just create a black box on my sheet of paper. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is, I have to do view. I have no idea where this is. Okay, I'm going to hit Command R for rulers. You do want your rulers to be showing. Usually that's under view. I'm sure that's under view in Illustrator. I've been hitting Control or Command R for so long that I don't know where it is. So armed with my little sheet of paper that has all my dimensions on it, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put a guideline at 1.5. I'm going to put one at 2 7/8. I'm going to put one at 3 3/8. And I'm going to put one at 4 3/4. Okay, and then from this side, I'm going to put one at 1/2. And then I'm going to put one at 3/8. So this clearly defines my 2 boxes where I want to type in it. So then I'm just going to get my type tool and I'm going to type out the things that I want to do in my daytime and nighttime. So I'm going to change my font. I'll take American Typewriter. And I'm going to change the size to 10 because 12 is kind of huge. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to type, drink a glass of water. What are your morning routines? All right, so there is my morning list. So I'm just going to hold down the Option key and drag this down to copy it. You can hit Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste in just about any program. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to type up my evening list. Okay, so my I have one less thing on my bottom list, and so I am going to space that one out just a little bit more, and I use the Option key and the down key in Illustrator to do that. You may have to do that a little bit differently in your program depending on what you're using if you're not using Illustrator. Okay, so I have everything typed up. The only thing now is I have colors for July already picked out. And so I am going to pick this dark purple color to go with the notepad because it is purple. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and print this. And the important part about this, for me is that I want to print this from my multi-purpose tray. You may, it depends on your printer how you want to do this, but if I'm doing something like this, I just want, I don't want to put this in the tray because I don't know, it's just easier for me to put it in the multi-purpose tray. So I'm just going to take a regular sheet of paper, put it in my multi-purpose tray, and as soon as my printer takes that, I'm just going to send that to print. And we'll head back over to the desk. Okay, so this is what printed out on my printer. You can see there's a big black box and it's got the text in it. You can take, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on video, but I can look through. This is a nice thing about doing a notepad too, is that you can actually see through it. When you start doing a heavy card, it's harder to see through, but you can take it outside and look with the sunshine and you'll be able to see through it. And I can see through it and see that my, all of my text is going to print in the right place. And I don't know, somehow in the midst of doing this, I've just kind of banged up this notepad. So since I'm going to print on it, I'm just going to get a new sheet because I want it to look nicer than that. Okay, so we are going to use this removable adhesive and make sure that you put it on the piece of paper. Don't put it on the thing that you're printing because it's going to stick to, like when you peel it up, it's going to stay stuck to the thing that you put it on, not the thing that you stick down on top of it. So then I'm just going to take this and line it up as best I can. There we go, and put it down. All right, so now I'm going to take this piece of paper and feed it back through my printer. Back over here in our document, we need to remove the box. So you can just click on the box and delete it because you don't want that box to print the second time around because all you want to print is the word. So the box was just there to let you know where on the sheet of paper it was actually printing what you were printing. So now that I've deleted the box, I'm just going to hit print again. I'm going to confirm that it's coming from my multi-purpose tray, and I'm going to print. And once it comes out of the printer, I'll meet you back at the desk. All right, here is our notepad after it printed. It is still stuck to a piece of paper, but it's not stuck real hard. It will peel right up, and all of the sticky stayed. There might have been a little bit, but most of the sticky stayed on this. And then here is the notepad that is printed on. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to laminate that and clip it into my printer as a daily reminder of what I need to be doing in the morning and in the evening. So that was our first try. So now let's try something different. Let's try a tag. So a tag is very much the same as a notepad, except for that it just has the sides cut off, so it feels a little bit differently. So this one is 7 5/8 by 3. And then the inside part, I'm just going to measure down. It starts at 1 1/4 and ends at 5 5/8. Okay, 5 5/8. All right, meet me over at the computer and we'll set this one up. You do not have to have a Silhouette Cameo to use Silhouette Studio, so if you don't have any other program to use, this one would work. It's free to download, and so you can use it. This one works a little bit differently than Illustrator in that I'm not going to create a document that's the size. I'm just going to create a box that is the size of our tag. So I'm going to come over here and create a box, and it really doesn't matter where I make the box. So right now it is 7.875 by 3.134, and that is not the size that I want it to be. So I'm going to go over here to the transform panel, and I'm going to click the scale option over here, and mine is 3 by 7.625. And I just happen to know that 5/8 is 7.625 because I was a graphic designer for years, so I just kind of had to know that. Okay, so I have a box here, but it is orange with a red outline, so I want to make it have no fill, and I want it to have gray is fine, but I want it to actually be a box. So I'm going to go ahead and make it 1 point. Oh, I made another box there, so let's get rid of that one. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. All right, so for my lines coming down, I need 1 1/4. Oh, okay, I'm just being silly here. Okay, let me get rid of the lines that are already there because there are lines already there. Okay, so I need to put this right up at the edge. Let me think about how I'll do that. All right, I'll put it at 0 and 0. Okay, so I'm going to go 1 1/4. And then 5 5/8. I'm going to leave it right there for now while I do my typing. So my tag says July Stories Documented. So I want to create a type box that fits inside this area here. And so I'm going to start typing. Now, before I go very far with this, I don't like this font, I don't like this color, and I certainly don't like this size because it is gigantic. So I am going to come over here to the character tab. I'm going to change my size to, let's say 14 maybe, and then let me see what kind of font I have going on up here. I don't want any of these. I think I want typewriter again. Okay, and then the font color that I want, I think I want kind of that. I think that color is, and I don't want any stroke on it. So let's get in here and see what this looks like. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now that I have it typed up, I'm going to take all of the type and the box and move it to the center of the page. And then I'm just going to get rid of those because I don't want to print it close to the edge of the page. So then I'm going to come down here and look at it closer just to make sure that my type, I think I might change my type to be centered. There we go. And then I think I'm going to click all of those and center all of them. There. That's perfect. So now I have a box. Once again, same thing. I have a box with type in it. So I'm just going to grab a sheet of paper and put it into my multi-purpose tray. So I have printed this out, and the font that I chose, can you see how thin it is? I think I'm going to change it to a little bit thicker version of that same font, but I'm not going to redo it all. So I'm just going to put the tape on here, and I put a lot of tape. I don't know that you need that much tape, but I'm always worried that it's going to come off in my laser printer, and I do not want that to happen because I love my laser printer. All right, I've put my tag down on top of it, and I'm going to come over to the printer and put it in. All right, so I'm going to hit print, multi-purpose tray, print, and I'll meet you back at the desk again. Okay, who was watching me do that and thought, no, you didn't take the border off? I did not take the border off. So let me be the cautionary tale. I forgot to take the black box off on this one, and you can see it printed just right at the top of my tag. My text looks better, but I am going to be able to fix this very quickly. I will just bring my trimmer out here and trim this. I'm afraid to trim that like that. I can't believe I forgot to do that, but hey, it happens. And it's not an unsolvable problem. So I'm okay with problems as long as you can solve them somehow. So I'm just gonna trim that off. So yeah, that happened. And there we go. So now I have my cute card. Even though I messed it up, it all worked out perfectly. And I got really close to the edges on this one. You can see how close I got. But because you're printing the box on your printer and your printer's pretty consistent, it's almost a foolproof thing as long as you don't forget to put the take the box out when you're printing the second time. So there is my tag. So the next thing that we're going to do is the glassine bag. And I was just holding it. Oh, here it is. I was going to say, I was just holding it, looking at it. Okay, so printing on a glassine bag. This one, to me, is actually easier. Well, let's talk about how you're going to print on a glassine bag. I've printed patterns on a glassine bag. I've never really printed something like words. If you were going to print words on the glassine bag, then you need to measure it. Same thing, make a box that size. But I am going to just print a pattern on this, and I'm choosing this side because this side has the seams on it. So I definitely want to print it on this side. So let's go to the computer and I'll show you what I do. Okay, for my glassine bag, I am going to come over here and I'm going to say new, and I'm just going to say letter size 8.5 by 11. And I want it to be portrait, and I want one artboard. All right, I'm going to create this in Illustrator. Okay, I already have some patterns. So if you don't have a pattern, you would need to find a pattern. That's a whole different thing. I have a YouTube video on how to make transparent bookmarks. That one goes into patterns and how to find a pattern and that sort of thing. But I already have a bunch of patterns for Wisteria Lane. So I am just going to draw a box that is bigger than my glassine bag, but smaller than my page here in Illustrator. Right now it has a black box around it, which I don't want, and the center is white, which I'm going to pick one of my patterns. I like that one. All right, so there's a pattern. I have a pattern. It's the whole page. So all I'm going to do is take a sheet of paper. I don't even have to test this one because it's going to print everywhere. And I'm going to use my Tombow adhesive roller and attach the bag to the sheet of paper, just somewhere on the sheet of paper because it's going to print everywhere. Sorry I didn't show you that part. I am going to send it into the printer with the bottom of the bag first because the top has the flap. And so now I'm just going to hit print, make sure that it's printing from the multi-purpose tray, and I'm going to hit print. Okay, here is the glassine bag after it came out of the printer. So I am going to remove it. There may be a little sticky stuff. I can see how it's sticking way better than the cards did. So there may be a little sticky stuck to the back of it, so you may just have to roll that off. It just rolls off. But look, it's a cute little glassine bag that has a print on it. You can see it wrinkled right there, so it didn't. Got a little funky place right there. But it makes a really cute little glassine bag. And I guess you could print the back of it if you wanted to, but you can just fold it over. And then it just prints wherever it wasn't that's such a neat trick. I can't say that I came up with that on my own. I saw someone else do it. I would give them credit if I could remember who they were. But it was years ago that I saw someone do that. So get out your computer and start measuring cards, and you can just take all these. You can print all over them. And this is especially fun if you don't like your handwriting, or if you just, you know, want to do something different this time. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please ask me. And I thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.